Welcome back to the Moms Interrupted podcast.
We're your hosts, Taylor and Natasha.
Between us, we're moms of two raising little ones with backgrounds in lactation counseling, childbirth education, and doula support.
But more than anything, we're two moms figuring it out in real time, just like you. So reheat your coffee, get comfy on the couch, and join us every Thursday morning.
This is Moms Interrupted.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
You look uncomfortable.
I'm like, I feel like one of those memes. I'm good. My daughter's eyes are wide open. So we'll see how this goes.
Totally.
Wide open. But I'm here and I'm ready. My ketchup, just to dive in, because everyone cares about my ketchup.
People do.
Is that, I don't know about anyone else, but I am so over kid restaurant menus.
You know what's so funny is
I'm over it.
I saw this on the doc and I can't wait to talk about it with you.
I mean, everyone else is going to disagree, I feel like, with me. It's like, oh, my kid will only eat chicken fingers.
Well, it's not that I disagree. I would love for there to be a plethora of options.
I don't even need a plethora of options.
What are you looking for?
I want, first of all,
in an ideal world, let's go through it.
At every restaurant. Chicken fingers with French fries, a burger with French fries, butter noodle with nothing else on it, or a grilled cheese sandwich. I just feel like we're setting our kids up for complete failure. We're like, why are they picky eaters? Why are they picky eaters? Yeah. But also, we will not offer anything else. I don't even need a kids menu. All I need is here are the exact same things on the adult menu, the main things.
Yeah.
And let's make them cheaper and smaller portions.
Yeah.
Like, I just want rice and a steamed veggie and a protein. I just want something simple. It just bothers me so much.
Because it's just like sort of nothingness, bland nothingness, sad beige food. I agree. My kids would totally eat that.
And fine, keep it on the menu. I don't even think we need to get rid of it. I just think, why is it so complicated for me to order something healthy at a restaurant for my kid unless I have to order an adult portion that's like $20.
Right, or more.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I actually threw a fit last night because my son, who is approaching 5, would not eat dinner. I read somewhere that peak pickiness is around 4 and then it starts to get better. He used to eat everything. He was my easy eater. I could put anything on his plate and he would chow down and have seconds. We have gotten to a point where there's so little that he will eat and it's so frustrating and I'm at my wit's end.
Yeah.
I threw a literal fit last night because I made curry. I made Thai curry and I put the sauce on, the curry on after. He just had plain noodles with plain chicken and I put veggies on the side and I gave them curry sauce and soy sauce on the side so they could dip their stuff into it if they wanted to. I just feel like that's so nice. Yeah. And he wouldn't eat any of it. Wouldn't eat the chicken. I don't like that kind of chicken. Wouldn't eat the noodles. Those are weird noodles. I'm like, okay, then be hungry. That's where I'm at. I'm not making you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I refuse. What we do. Yeah, I refuse.
We're like, be hungry.
Yeah, be hungry.
And then he ends up eating a really healthy breakfast because he was so hungry. And I'm like, whatever.
No, that's where I'm at. My husband's like, I don't want him to go to bed hungry. I'm like, well, I'm not a short order chef. I literally refuse to do it. If he was hungry, he would eat it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because he would be so hungry that he would be like, well, this is what I get. But we've taught him, if he doesn't eat it, then he'll make him a peanut butter and jelly before bed.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
Yeah.
So last night he went surfing at sundown and he was like, did he eat his dinner? Because he left and he was still at the dinner table and he hadn't eaten anything. And I was like, no. And I said, bummer. And he's like, can I have some dessert? I was like, good joke. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that's my hot take.
I agree, though. First, I would like to say thank you to the 0.2% of listeners who are listening from the Netherlands. You are my people. In case you can't tell, I'm Dutch. We're the tallest people in the world. And I saw that you're listening, and I just want to say hello.
Is there anyone from Sweden, from my homeland?
I don't know. I wasn't looking. I'll have to check next time.
Okay. So what are we talking about?
So, okay, real quick. I would just like to say that I've started the season of Love Island.
Oh, me too.
And I would obviously the show is disgusting.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. But some stuff I'm like, ooh, cut that out. But I would just like to say that if you scroll TikTok, you would be like, wow, Gen Z and young people are so obsessed with like clean beauty and Pilates and matcha that they're not having any fun. And Love Island gives me faith in the youth again, because like when we were young, do you remember how much we used to say ratchet and people were being ratchet, and people were, and I just feel like have a little fun. So like, you're 23 years old.
I think people are afraid to be filmed too these days.
No, for sure.
Things I would do out dancing, twerking on the wall.
Literally don't care though.
Yeah, not done anymore.
I know. It's just so sad to me because this is your time. Speaking as your elder, this is your time to have fun. And watching Love Island, I'm like, okay, maybe people are still having fun and not just going to Pilates and having matcha. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love both of those things. I'm just saying, looking back, I'm so glad that I had some like crazy wild times. I just don't want you to miss out.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing since you brought up Love Island?
Of course.
Nobody kisses like that in real life.
Who walks up to someone to make out with their tongue already out? It's insane.
The level of kissing on this season is different. It's not real.
It's not kissing. It's like,
I'm like, do the producers tell them to do that?
They must be coached on.
And also, can we talk about the outfits?
Yeah.
Those are also not normal.
No. Everything is like from Revolve for a festival. It's so over the top.
And the gowns are like the most part, like we're going to prom.
I mean, though, I'm like, girl, that looks fun. I was going on a reality dating TV show. I would go all out with the outfits too. So I don't actually have a problem with that. The problem that I have with the show is like, it's porn.
Oh my God.
And like, we put it on last night
when my eyes almost saw it and I was like,
no, we put it on last night because my son took a nap at school, and so he had to stay up till like 10 o'clock before he went to bed. And we put it on because we were like, oh, we'll just start Love Island while he's awake. And then immediately my husband was like, turn it off. Oh my God, turn it off. So that being said, we turned off Love Island. And I know in a previous episode recently, I talked about how I need something to do with my son that's not just like taking care of him.
Love Island.
Cooking, cleaning, And so I turned off Love Island and we did a puzzle.
Oh, fun.
And that was
I didn't know where you were going with this. Oh my God. I was like, what's she going to say? Cut.
Keeping you on your toes. So we turned that off and we put on a puzzle, and it was so wholesome and sweet, and he loved it. And I had bought him puzzles in the past, and he had no interest, but this was like a cute, relatively easy bluey magnetic one, and he loved it. And we did 3 together, and it was so cute and fun. And I was like, okay, maybe we could do puzzles together. I'm just trying to think of fun things that we can do together that we both enjoy.
Yeah.
And usually I'm like an arts and crafts, Play-Doh kind of girly, but I was like, okay, we can do puzzles together. That's cute.
I love a good sticker book too.
A sticker book is very cute. Mm-hmm. A coloring book is fun for me. So I know we were talking about how like moms don't play with their kids, but I'm selective about the things that I want to play.
Right. Totally.
Also, my daughter, who's 1.5, has been sick. And so I had her home and I was trying to work on podcast stuff. And I was thinking back to when I had my first, and I was like, oh, I'll just work from home and he'll just be here. I thought I was going to work from home and have a baby at home. It's like, good joke.
Yeah. You know what's next level? Everyone talks about stay-at-home moms, working moms, going into the office. There is not enough discussion around the current culture of work from home mom.
Right.
Because that is a whole other ball game. It's so hard.
Even if you have help in the home and you're home trying to work, like your kids always find you.
I think you can get away with it.
Yeah.
For month 1, 2, 3, 4. Once they're over 6 months, there's how? Literally how?
I don't know if you can get it. Maybe you can get away with it like part-time.
Even when we have calls, I can't ever make it work.
Totally.
I didn't show up.
No, it's
one.
It's impossible. It's impossible. And then for my kids at their ages, 1.5 and 4.5, I literally have to say I'm leaving when I have a nanny at the house and then sneak back in the back door and go upstairs to do work, because if they know I'm in the home, they are like, nanny said this, like, can you tell her? And I'm like, this is a full responsibility transfer. You guys are on your own.
Yeah,
she's in charge. It's so hard to balance though. Yeah. So that was my week. Sick baby. We had some sort of lower respiratory infection, which is just so rude for June.
I
And
think you've been saying that for months on this.
May, June. So we're on antibiotics. Hopefully that's the end of that. Should we get into some of the meat of the episode?
Let's do it.
Okay, so in the news, I wanted to talk about how there was another formula recall, because this happens all the time and only the really big ones get any news, right? If someone gets seriously harmed or dies.
Yeah.
But there was another one. It's a voluntary recall. The type of formula is called A2 Platinum Premium Infant Formula, and it's contaminated. No illnesses have been reported, but it's a notable recall because A2 is marketed as a gentler formula, easier to digest. I got this from the USDA website. It's just a bummer because it's just like, you can't win. You're trying to do the best thing. You get the gentle formula. You get like a good brand, and it's like, it's just happening nonstop.
Yeah, that's why the good brand predatory marketing
Right.
is crazy. And I feel the same way about formula as I do with diapers. Like, not necessarily one is like that much better than the
Totally.
other. And yet Millie Moon, it just came out with those law articles that I was reading
Right.
about multiple toxic burns. So far, 50 moms have reported it.
Toxic burns on your diaper.
Chemical
like, come
burns.
on.
And you want to know how I found out? And then I had to fact check, was a TikTok influencer.
Like, why is that not breaking
Why is
news?
that not breaking news? And then I look, and this law firm is investigating. They have at least 50 that they're investigating, multiple confirmed. I'm like,
So sad.
Crazy.
Meanwhile, I use Millie Moon pull-ups, so I need to look into that. So anyways,
what else is new in the news?
yeah, I did a deep dive in the news. Have you seen the TikTok trend going around called mommy maxing?
No, tell me about it.
So it's all about optimizing your life all at the same time. Fixing up your home, fixing up your appearance, making sure your schedules are all optimized, your kids' schedules, your home schedules, every aspect of motherhood is optimized. And then there's this, like, of course, backlash where people are like, the rise of the messy mom movement.
That's me.
And I was crying laughing because I used to be like, optimize, schedule everything, every moment of the day. And I've gotten more type B with my second child because I just can't. I physically can't do it all. And like, I don't want to optimize anymore. I'm good on the optimizing.
Yeah, and also, why am I always optimizing more? I texted Natasha yesterday and was like, I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling run down. I'm 3 months postpartum, and I forget that. I forget that. I've been doing so much. Go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And I texted her and I was like, I have a second. Usually I clean the house. I do all these things. And I was like, I'm starting Love Island.
Yeah.
And I'm committed
And I'm
to
sitting.
starting Love Island. And I'm sitting.
and not doing anything else. And I'm not going to multitask.
I was sitting.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me to relax.
I know.
Unless I'm like on a vacation, and then I'm really good at it.
Right.
But if I'm at home, I have this list of 15 things in my head, and I'm thinking about how I'm not doing them.
I know.
And it bothers me
I
so
know.
much.
It's so hard to
And
turn
that's a mom
it off.
thing.
Yeah. It's so hard to turn it off. My husband is really good at being like, I'm going to go surfing. Like, I'm going to go do this. And I'm so bad.
Wait, I
at
ran
that.
into her husband checking out the waves on the way back from picking up your
Yeah.
son at school.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I would never think to like, ooh, let's go do this fun thing. I'd be like, have to get home to do this and then this and this. And I need to do more of that because it was so cute. They were like watching the waves. And I was like, aw.
I know. Meanwhile, I'm like
way to optimize fun instead.
Yes, right?
You're coming home from a pickup and you're like doing something fun.
right. Instead of being like, rush home.
Yeah.
So that I can get
Start dinner. Do
XYZ
this.
chore done.
Yeah.
You know? Meanwhile, I like have a list of chores I want him to do. And he's like, yeah, I'll get to it.
Yeah, exactly. But also the chores can wait.
No, totally.
They'll
And
get done.
I do have to like remind
Eventually.
myself that. You know what it is? It's the recurring chores that really get me because it's like you never actually get to cross them off the list. And obviously
I know.
that's the mental load, just like by definition. But it's like the laundry, the dishes, like all of those things never actually, like they get done for a second and then it's like there's more.
For 1 second.
Literally 1 second. My husband's like, why do we have so much laundry? I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like I just saw this reel. It was like what I thought motherhood would be like. And it's like, la, la, la. And then actually it's just you in front of like the laundry, like going around and around and around.
Literally.
Laundry machine sounds are triggering to me now.
100%.
And
And you're like, shut up.
so I reject mommy maxing. Why isn't it called daddy maxing?
I'm done with them. Like no, they don't have these TikTok trends about like trad dads, like
Trad dads. Did we just make that up?
I'm going to start hashtagging trad dad.
Daddy maxing trad dad.
Yes. I bet Dad Talk will start doing trad dads.
Dad talk. Oh my God.
We just gave them a new idea.
We did.
But yeah, I reject it, and I'm subscribing to the messy mommy movement because I just think it's hilarious and
I love
also relatable.
So relatable. Okay, moving on.
Okay, so the last thing in the news that I wanted to talk about is that there was a new national report that found that the U.S. got a C for maternal mental health. Not one state earned an A. The U.S. received an F for parental support, including paid leave and childcare. To note, the U.S. grade improved slightly from a C- to a C. We tell moms to take care of themselves, but then we make it impossible for them to do that. It's just so disappointing.
It's so disappointing.
On a positive note, California is the #1 state in the country for maternal mental health support efforts in the report. California wins.
You know what? I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. Also, like, it's very good weather here, so I just feel like that's good for mental health.
But I also am not surprised because just recently doing a hospital birth for the first time with my second baby, I was very pleasantly surprised with the follow-ups, the checkups, the resources. I mean, the hospitals are on it here. They're very progressive and lots of resources, lots of midwives, lots of OBs working with midwives.
Yes.
It feels a little bit like integrative health everywhere.
We have a lot of leading healthcare in California, so it makes sense. We have a lot of biotech.
A lot of lactation resources.
Yes, and there's just a ton of people in California.
Yeah.
We don't have rural issues as much as other states might have.
Right.
So that's probably why.
I feel you with the weather, though. I lived in DC. You lived in Indiana for 4 years each. Or
No.
you lasted a year.
Barely. Not even a full year.
I was there for 4.5 years.
Nope.
I couldn't rush back fast enough.
I'm used to vitamin D.
And the postpartum period, if I wasn't getting out of the house, oh my God.
I would for sure
So
be
I
depressed.
can't imagine not being able to get out of the house.
Right,
Those people need more resources, more community, more indoor, circles.
A few stats that I want to read off. So the U.S. says, right, within the study, the U.S. was ranked a C for maternal mental health. That includes paid leave, childcare, all of those things. So the U.S. says mental health matters, but then gives parents no paid leave, impossible childcare costs, and wonders why moms are struggling. But then we blame it on breastfeeding. There was a study, and there's evidence that shows that mothers who wanted to breastfeed and were able to breastfeed successfully tend to have the lowest postpartum depression rates.
That's so interesting.
Mothers who wanted to breastfeed but were unable to meet their breastfeeding goals tend to have the highest depression rates. Mothers who plan to formula feed from the start often fall somewhere in the middle. The source on that is the Massachusetts General Hospital. So I just don't think that blaming breastfeeding for mental health struggles in the US is the whole picture. I actually think it does us as women and moms a disservice because we should be fighting for paid leave. And we talk about this all the time. Paid leave, lower childcare costs, lactation support, all of these things that help support women.
And help give women autonomy to make the decision.
And just education so that women can make informed choices, because the data shows that breastfeeding is not the problem. It's a slew of problems, and then breastfeeding gets blamed for it because it's hard to breastfeed in our current situation in the US with no paid leave, astronomical childcare costs, the return to work, the bounce back culture, all of those things.
The lack of in-home resources that are covered by insurance.
Yes. Any support and education prenatally, postnatally, all of those things matter. And the data just shows that women have the highest level of postpartum depression when breastfeeding doesn't work and they wanted it to work. And that makes sense because there's a lot of shame and guilt around not being able to do it based off of circumstances that are out of your control.
Yeah.
And I just think that is a better picture than what you see circulating on social media, which is that I stopped breastfeeding and that's better for my mental health. I didn't breastfeed because it's better for my mental health. That may be true, but that's not the reason why your mental health was suffering. Your mental health is suffering because of all of the things that are congruent with that.
Also, the one data point in that's not spoken about enough is how breastfeeding can improve mental health.
Well, that's what the data shows. Women,
I know, but it's not spoken about.
It's not
at
spoken
all.
about.
There's so much negativity surrounding how hard breastfeeding is, but there's nothing about how happy it makes some people feel.
Totally.
And the oxytocin hormone, there's just so much research behind it that's not spoken about. And to me, that is so sad for mothers who are pregnant going into it, seeing all the toxic. And I understand the hardships have to be shared.
Of course.
But why are the positives never being shared?
That's why I love this study, because it shows that women who breastfeed successfully and wanted to breastfeed and have a good experience, they have the best rates of mental health.
Yeah.
So it's just goes to show you that, like, if you are able to do it, you wanted to do it, you have the support to make it happen. Evidence-based data is showing that you can have the lowest rates of postpartum depression compared to the other two groups. 100%.
Yeah. The love hormone.
Oxytocin.
I love it.
It just goes to show you that maybe the group that we need to be paying the most attention to and giving the most support is the women who wanted to breastfeed, who care about breastfeeding, who maybe were educated on breastfeeding but didn't get the support that they needed to make it successful.
Because their numbers are the highest with depression.
Yes.
Yeah.
A 2025 JAMA Network open cohort study found that the U.S. is one of the only 6 nations in the world without legally mandated parental leave, and the only developed nation on that list. It's just like, what are we doing?
You know what bothers me?
Tell me.
It bothers me that in politics, we push universal childcare so hard, but we don't at the same time push parental leave. Because what that's doing is that's not giving parents a choice.
Right.
And honestly, it keeps more women out of the workforce.
Yeah.
Because half of those people are going to decide.
Right.
I was just reading some crazy stats about how a very high percentage of women either pivot or leave the workforce completely after children.
Right.
A lot of those women don't want to choose to put their child in daycare like too early.
Right.
They would prefer, most women, it to be like at least at the 6-month mark.
Right.
And I think this all relates back to breastfeeding too, because the first 6 months are so important and just so much harder than later on.
Right.
Anyway, I just find it so capitalist of us to push the universal daycare
Right.
than to push
It's like
what it's like.
that's not even what people want. Like, they don't want to send their kid to daycare at 6 weeks. They want to stay home for 6 months and then have lower childcare costs. Like, I'm sorry, is that asking too much? I just don't think it is.
It's not.
It's not.
It's crazy to me. It's so crazy. And also economically, I think a lot more women would go back to the workforce and end up improving the economy long term than just leaving it because they only have the option of daycare. They don't have the option to stay home for 6 months.
100%. And think of like all of... Not to go back to Love Island, but people are giving this guy who's a cop so much shit for leaving his job. Like, the mayor of his city came out and was like, how dare he leave his job?
No way.
Yes, because he's like, we poured all of these resources into this guy who has only been on the force for less than a year. And he's like, how dare he leave his job? It's already hard enough to get people to be police now, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, think about, like, going back to motherhood, think about all of the resources that were poured into mothers, and then they end up leaving because they don't have an easy transition back, right? And they have to pivot or they have to leave. And it's like, think about your retention rate. If you just had a better process for letting mothers come on part-time at first, working from home, hybrid, like all of these options, it's like, think about the cost that you would save keeping them on. Like, I remember I wanted to go back to work after my first, but they wouldn't let me transition. They were like, you have to come back 4 months, day 1 in the office. And I was like, can I come back 20 hours a week and then do the rest at home? And they were like, no, they wouldn't work with me. And I was like, okay, well, I like can't. Like, I can't. Yeah. And obviously I'm privileged to be in a position where I didn't have to. But yeah, I just think about, like, companies, one of their biggest profit losses is losing talent, right? When they've poured all of these resources into finding talent and training them. And it's like, well, maybe if we just had better resources for them. And women are actually looking for companies that have progressive maternity leave, childcare on site. Like, women will seek out those things.
Yeah, companies need to get on board. And I think about this all the time. It's oftentimes the people who are already getting paid the most that get the best leave. And it's just like so America.
Yeah.
Like you have to work for one of the best companies and get paid the most to even have a good leave.
And if you're just like
so unfair.
Yeah. And if you're like a low paid worker on the spectrum, like you have the worst benefits, you have the worst childcare options, you have to go back to work the fastest.
It's so capitalist.
And it's so sad because like why are those people, like the people who can pay for childcare are getting the best benefits, and the people who can't afford to pay for childcare are getting fucked from both ends.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so now that we've talked about all of the things happening in the world right now and how we feel about them, we'll do a little Q&A because we had some good questions pop up, and this is one that's really common across all care teams, but we specifically got some about how do you find a pediatrician that you like, how do you find an OB, midwife, doula that you like. So I think you're gonna have a good answer to this, but what's your number one
tip?
Yeah, I guess what's your angle when you're looking for your care team? Anyone on the care team, what is your number one thing? What do you look for?
Gosh. My number one thing is to tap into people you trust and who they use. I wouldn't have found the OB that changed my life if I had not asked multiple people in my community.
Me.
Multiple people. Yeah. Who were like...
Kidding.
Who were like, this guy's incredible.
Yeah.
And then the second step that I took was I actually read all of his reviews. There were so many.
It's good.
And I even read negative ones. Yeah. And I balanced them all. Don't waste your time seeing a ton of different people and interviewing them all. Like, why not do a little bit of sifting first? Ask people you trust, because I do recommend seeing multiple people.
Yeah. But like narrow it down first. Obviously you want someone that aligns with your values and stuff, but like
you have to like them.
Yeah.
Not to be super dramatic, but you're putting your life on the line.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Why would you put your birth in someone's hands that you don't like talking to?
Obviously it's safety and then vibes.
My husband and I talk about this all the time. We enjoyed going to our OB appointments. We had so many questions. The answers were met with like zero ego.
Or judgment.
Zero judgment. We could ask stupid questions and he was honest answers. That's a great question. Let me answer you. It's important you're asking questions.
I think this applies to pediatricians too.
Yes.
Obviously, like same kind of thing. Like, do you feel talked at, or do you feel like you can ask questions without like just being lectured? Like,
totally.
Is this a collaborative thing? Like, do I feel safe asking you questions versus like being like, oh, I don't want to ask this question, I'll just look it up later?
I learned so much with my first pediatrician experience. Went out of the office crying and was like, I guess this is just like how they are. And now that I have a pediatrician that respects me and I respect them, I'm like, whoa, I love going to the pediatrician. And like, this is a great experience. There is one out there for you that's better than another one. And it doesn't mean that they're a better pediatrician, it just means they're a better pediatrician for you.
Right. You have to find the right,
which matters.
The right fit. And I do think like tapping into your network and finding people that you like share similar values with, you can get recommendations from. But also if you're starting out, like Google top pediatricians, look at their reviews, and then go in and ask them. Like, don't worry if you're like 8 months pregnant and you have unhinged questions and you're anxious and whatever, like just go in there. Like you're not the first and you won't be the last.
Yes.
The other thing about like OBs that I will say is during my second pregnancy, I switched OBs 4 times.
Yeah.
So like, you just got to do what you got to do. You got to find the team that works for you. I don't think that you should feel bad about it. Cause like you said, like, the maternal and infant mortality rates in the US are not good. So find someone that you feel confident in and that you like talking to.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even a them problem. It's an office and system problem.
Don't even get me started on this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the phone tree situation for offices is out of control.
Yeah.
I refuse to go to an office that has a phone tree and not someone working at the front desk. The pendulum swings, right? We're using technology. Less technology, please. I don't want to go through a phone tree when my kid is sick and I have a question that needs to be answered by a nurse or a doctor or whatever. I don't want to leave a voicemail and get called back in 4 days. These are the things that matter to me, and you don't think about it before you have a kid, but let me just tell you, these are the things that matter. You need to be able to reach somebody, send a message, get a response back in a reasonable amount of time. I get it. They're busy, but also when your kid is sick, like, who do they send you to? Do they send you to urgent care? Do they send you to a children's hospital? Like, how far away is that? How long is the waiting room usually? Like, is it 6 hours? The one that we have here is like 6 hour wait times. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Do they have Saturday hours, Sunday hours? Do they have a 24/7 nurse line that they recommend? Do they have a resources page where you can look up questions and they have answers there? All of those things really matter to me. And the first pediatrician that I went to, my son was sick when he was like 6 weeks old, and I couldn't get through to anyone on the phone tree. Could not get through. No one ever called me back. And I was like, screw this. Like, this is such a horrible experience. I don't care how good my pediatrician was, because she was great, but I can't get through to anyone. This doesn't work.
And I feel the same way about OB offices. The OB I was at before I transferred, it was just like a machine that was running, and I was someone on the machine going like this, and I was in the lowest mental breakdown of my life, and they were like, I mean, you just don't sleep while you're pregnant. Like, I could do sleep aids, but it's not good for you or the baby, so like you really don't have many options. Here's a pamphlet on a mental health specialist to call.
I mean, that's how it was when I had
hyperemesis.
It was like
a 5-minute appointment.
No, they don't care. We were at the same office.
Yeah.
But they don't care. Like, truly.
I mean, I told her I couldn't drive to this appointment because I was shaking from not sleeping for 5 days. And she was like, good luck. You can call this number. And then when I talked to my midwife about it, it was like a 3-hour appointment. She cried with me. It was like this whole... it was a whole situation. She called me 2 hours later, make sure I got home, and like checked on me. And I was just like, yeah, I probably won't use care like that ever again.
No, and it's so sad, because how many people, like, that's the only office that their insurance covers, or like they don't know of anywhere else to go, or they're too like mentally unwell to even do the research to.
I wasn't gonna call a random number. Right. I was like, yeah. It's just like another thing to do.
And when you're in that place that's like so mentally unwell, like, you can't even help yourself. Like, you can't even like call a number, and like, you need someone to be like, I'm going to help you. Yeah. It's like medical malpractice to be in that situation that you were in.
I tapped into a friend who's a therapist who found me the correct resources and helped me.
But it's crazy, because we're in this world, and like, think about people who are not. Yeah. It's so sad.
It's crazy.
So we have some breastfeeding questions from our Q&A that we'll answer next. And the next one is on harvesting colostrum, which is a hot topic, but it's a new one. Yeah. What's your hot take on harvesting colostrum?
My hot take is that it is a trend. Yes, there might be a chance that you should, and we can talk about that and talk about the clinical things. Oftentimes not recommended medically. Can I just say, we get so many messages on this, and it's because they saw videos on social media. Right. Similar to the butter in the breast milk situation.
Yeah, to help your babies. So the thing with harvesting colostrum, if you're like leaking colostrum, fine, collect it.
For sure.
Like, if it's like flowing out of you.
Liquid gold, don't let that shit go down the drain.
Yeah, don't let it just like spill all over your shirt into a nursing pad. Like, sure, collect it. But as far as harvesting it and like spending time trying to get it out prenatally, there's no evidence that shows that it's going to help your milk supply postpartum. So that's one. Two, it can trigger contractions. So if you're high risk at all, it's a no, and your OB is going to tell you no. I was low risk, and my OB said, I mean, if you want to do it, you can start at 39 weeks. I went into labor at 39 weeks, so I never did it. She's like, I wouldn't recommend it before that. I see things online that are like, wait to 36, 37 weeks. Whoa, that's early. That's early term. Let's not do that. Let's not spread that around. You need OB approval.
I have a question about this that you would know. So here's my question. What is the difference between waiting and giving the colostrum via breastfeeding and getting that stimulation at the breast at the onset of right after labor versus getting it out before baby's born and using syringes, does that impact breastfeeding from the start?
As a CLC and an IBCLC candidate, this is something that I worry about with colostrum harvesting.
Yeah.
When you give birth and the placenta is born, that is what triggers lactogenesis too. That's what tells your body, baby is here. We need to feed baby. So every time you put the baby at the breast, the baby takes colostrum, takes milk anytime you're breastfeeding, and then it sends the signal to the brain, make more milk for the next feed, right? Stimulation and milk removal. So when you have harvested colostrum, and you have no separation, right? Baby hasn't been separated from you. There's no medical indication for supplementation. I worry that we are not putting baby to breast enough and we are supplementing with that colostrum. And so baby's full. So they don't need to go to the breast as often.
Right.
And then your body is not getting the signal enough, right? It's just like any time else. If you were to feed baby with a bottle, say, then you would have to pump. So it's the same thing in that situation right after birth is if baby's getting supplemented, then you need to pump or hand express so that your body knows we need to make more milk. So I just don't want you to not put baby to breast enough that now you're losing stimulation. Your prolactin is so high right after you give birth. That's when you want to be getting those signals the most. The first few days, weeks matter a lot.
The sucking helps close up the uterus. It helps with healing and blood loss. It helps with so many things. So you're not getting as much of that, which is scary.
It is scary. And that's why I think a lot of times it's not recommended. Now, there are medical indications for supplementation, and there are medical reasons why you would want to have colostrum harvested if you know you're going to be separated from baby. If you have gestational diabetes and you're worried about you, meaning like you and your OB who you've had this conversation with, you guys are worried about separation.
What about a planned cesarean?
Yeah. So a planned cesarean could be a reason why you would want to harvest some colostrum. If you know you're going to be separated. The planned cesareans typically are not as much of a concern as emergency cesareans. Yeah. So it's really hard to plan for that. And I think that's why people want to harvest colostrum in the first place, because there's so much unknown, right? Like, how do I know if baby's going to be separated from me? How do I know if I'm going to have an emergency cesarean?
How do I know if I'll have enough?
Exactly. Yeah. So I get it.
That social media really triggers that though.
And I
think
the
fear.
Exactly. I think it's fear mongering. If you know that baby's going to be separated from you, if you are going to have a preemie baby, like, okay, like, you know, maybe, but again, you need to speak to your care team about it. We have moms come into the hospital with harvested colostrum, and that is great, but oftentimes they don't use it because your body is still going to make the same amount of colostrum. It's just an extra thing that you don't really need to do.
I have a question though, because if you're harvesting colostrum, and does that mean the transition happens quicker?
No, because the trigger for the hormone cascade is the placenta leaving the body.
Got it.
So anything prenatally is just extra.
Got it.
Expressing prenatally does not affect long-term supply. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm improving my milk supply by expressing prenatally. So you're not making any effect. What I would recommend as a CLC and IBCLC candidate is to hand express after baby is born. Yes. A lot. Yeah. Not every 3 hours, more often. Hand express every hour. After every feed, hand express. Get that colostrum out. Prenatally, like I said, there are some medical indications, gestational diabetes, cleft palate, something like that, like these more rare situations, but otherwise,
don't worry about it.
If you're a low risk pregnancy, hand express after baby's born. That's what's going to help you the most.
Don't stay up at night trying to figure this out.
No, like I said, if it's leaking out on its own, fine, collect it.
Otherwise, there are other battles to win before birth.
Yeah, you just don't need to worry about it.
Like, need to be on your list of to-dos.
Totally.
You know?
Totally.
Like, make it easy on yourself.
Yes. Enjoy. And then when the baby comes, you can move on to the next thing. I think we're too worried about like...
make sure you have lactation support like signed up for.
Yes.
Make sure you're going to have it at the hospital. Make sure you're going to be able to get it at home and let them help you.
Yes.
You know? Especially if it's already offered at the hospital. Like, you know, just...
It's hard to
let go.
It's hard to be in the present.
Someone reached out and said, I'm an undersupplier and I feel really guilty about combo feeding.
The first thing I would say is don't ever feel guilty about feeding your baby. Like, you're doing a great job. Without knowing clinical background, right? I need medical history. I would want to do a breast assessment, right? There's a lot of things that come to mind when we're talking about medically diagnosable reasons for being an undersupplier. It sounds like if it were her way, she would get her supply up and exclusively breastfeed or exclusively offer breast milk, but never feel guilty about feeding your baby.
87% of parents utilize combo feeding within the first year.
Wow. Yeah. So there you go. You're not alone.
80% of parents intend to exclusively breastfeed.
And 87% end up combo
Only
feeding.
25% reach the 6-month mark on breast milk alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not alone at all.
You're not alone. And
it's extremely common.
It's extremely common. And the other thing is, like, we talked about the new study that came out with mental health and how women who want to breastfeed but then are not able to because of all the societal and systemic problems that we have, like no paid leave and the going back to work early, and the lack of education and support around lactation. It just goes to show you it's a systemic problem, and you shouldn't feel guilty. Formula isn't a moral failure. It's a tool. You're feeding your baby. There are some clinical reasons that you would be medically diagnosed as having undersupply, right? There's thyroid dysfunction, PCOS, insufficient glandular tissue. I know people who, like, no one ever told them that they had insufficient glandular tissue, right? It's on the rare side. So this isn't super common, but so like your OB should do a breast exam, and if not your OB, then a lactation consultant. They can assess and tell if you have insufficient glandular tissue or not. So someone should be doing that on you, ideally before you have a baby, so you know.
Right.
Prior breast surgery or trauma. At the clinic, we had someone who had a gunshot wound to the breast, and that affected her glandular tissue. Usually we see more problems with breast reduction than we do with augmentation. Postpartum hemorrhage and retained placenta, all of those things affect milk supply and the ability to bring baby to breast. Certain medications affect supply. I feel like people don't know about this, but like Sudafed and any antihistamine, I mean, that dries things up, right? So think about your milk, drying it up. And that's not 100%. You're not going to take one antihistamine and it's going to just dry up, but it does affect things, and people don't realize that.
Yeah.
Of course, there's other medications too. And then I feel like people don't know this, but like mint. Mint can affect supply. Every lactation consultant will tell you, don't even drink mint tea.
Yeah. Wow.
Diabetes and insulin problems, like that can affect supply. So
mint tea affects milk supply.
it can.
Okay.
Yeah, it can.
Hot
tip.
fact.
Yeah.
Hot thought.
Hot thought. Obviously, another pregnancy can affect your supply. And then the other thing I want to talk about is, like, with all the GLP-1 stuff and bounce back culture, severe calorie restriction will affect your supply, even your water intake. I mean, I've seen people who have had gastric bypass in the past, and they're like, I can't drink a full water because their stomach is so small, and that affects supply.
Makes sense.
Going back to the insufficient glandular tissue stuff, your breast should grow during puberty, and your breast should grow during pregnancy. And if they don't, then that is a sign of something not working properly. And clinically, if there's no medical diagnoses as to why you have a low supply, I just want to state that the number one reason why women stop breastfeeding is because of perceived low supply, not medically diagnosed low supply. Yeah. Now, after you give birth, you have the highest prolactin levels, and that's when you need to really go to war on bringing baby to breast. That's your best time to signal to your body to make a full supply. Once you get to like 12 weeks, it's really hard to make a real difference in supply. It's possible, but a lactation consultant will tell you, I don't have a crystal ball. We can try all of these things, right? Bringing baby to breast more, pumping more, power pumping. We have tools. We have the lactagogues that you can try, right? Like over-the-counter herbs. There's lots of things to try, but my best advice for you would be like, go into pregnancy, birth with education and support. And then in the first 12 weeks, really go hard at building a full supply, bringing baby to breast. Don't schedule feeds. Don't try to stretch feeds out. Don't try to sleep train in the first 3 months. Like all of those things are going to meaningfully affect your supply in a bad way.
Yeah. the death of breastfeeding will be the every 2 to 3 hours feed.
Yeah.
That is the death of breastfeeding. I stand by that. I mean, the amount I feed this chick, true feeding on demand, I'm sorry, is every second.
Yeah, I know. It's nonstop.
You hear me all the time. I'm like, I heard a little peep, feeding, feeding. It's just constant. And mentally, that's so hard if you're not prepared for that and you're prepared for every 2 to 3 hours.
And I think part of the problem is that people are like tracking their feeds.
Right.
Stop tracking.
Oh my God. When the pediatrician asked me how many times I feed the baby, and I'm like, and she's like, okay, so it's on demand. I'm like,
it's nonstop.
It's 500.
I mean, when I used to try to pay attention, once I hit 18, I would be like, and I'm not counting anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just gets to a point where you're like, I'm feeding enough.
Oh my God.
And I'm not going to track it, because then you get into your head, why is she feeding so much? Is she not getting enough?
Yeah.
It's like, just feed them.
What's a feed? I'm like constantly feeding.
Totally.
The feed is a day.
Well, because it's for comfort and it's like
24-hour feed.
24. Taylor feeds the entire time we're filming.
No, literally.
Like, is that 1 feed or 12?
Because it's like, I feed her to sleep. I feed her when she wakes up.
Right.
I feed her when she's cranky. It always works.
Totally. Yeah. And I think part of the problem is like being like, okay, feed them at least 8 times in 24 hours. It's like, well, yes, of course, as the baseline, but feed more.
I know.
Feed more and stop tracking it. Once it's over 8, move on. Something like education wise that I think that a lot of people don't realize is that like the first 12-ish weeks before your supply is established is mostly run off of hormones, your endocrine system. That's why you'll have an oversupply in those first like 8-ish 12 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Because it's run off of hormones, and it's like feed the baby, and then your supply regulates and people are like, oh, my milk's gone because I don't have any extra, right? They put the breast gel on, you don't collect anything anymore, you put the hock on, barely anything comes out, you pump and you're making just enough. That's because now your milk supply is established and it's running off of no longer the endocrine system, it's the autocrine system, and it's a demand and supply system. So when baby's nursing, it's telling your brain, make milk for the next feed now, based off of how much she's taking. There's just so much noise around, 3 to 5 ounces per feed and 8 to 10 times a day and la la la. And it's like, your body is making the milk based off how much this baby is taking. And we just don't need to overcomplicate it by like counting. And obviously if you're only feeding your baby like 4-6 times in the day, that's probably not enough when you're breastfeeding. I don't know. I just hate the overcomplication of it all.
Yeah, agree.
If you're combo feeding in the first 10-ish weeks, you're likely not bringing baby to breast enough to stimulate your body to make a full supply. Because breastfeeding on demand, you're breastfeeding so many more times than 8 times a day. So even if you're replacing a feed with a pump, you're just likely not getting the stimulation that you need. And I think this is why people combo feed and then just eventually 4-6 months, a lot of times end up on formula because their supply just dwindles.
Right.
And it's the death of breastfeeding because a breastfed baby will want to nurse and people will say, oh, here's a bottle. And you're just not getting that stimulation, even if you replace it with a pump.
A pump is not equal.
Well, and your baby could just want to take an ounce and then you're filling the baby up with 4 ounces.
Yes.
And so you're not getting that same, it's just not the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about that all the time. We have to do one of those breastfeeding class things where you put 2 bottles next to each other and you go, okay, feed, pour both in. Wants comfort, pour in this demand.
Right.
Crying, pour on the demand. Going to sleep, pour in the demand. Okay, next feed, both pours.
Right.
And it's like you really, it took me that visual to see like, whoa, like it's so different.
It's so different when you do a scheduled bottle feed versus feeding on demand. Feeding on demand for the first 12 weeks can make or break your breastfeeding journey. And I know it's not possible for everyone. We talked about the clinical indications, why you would not have a full supply and you would need formula, and formula is
if you're going back to work.
Yes. And formula is an incredible tool, but I do think that
the data shows it. The data shows that majority of women who want to start out breastfeeding switch to combo feeding and then the rates
Right.
from there,
It's
just really taper off.
So someone asked, and I think this is a funny question for you. Someone DM'd us and she was like, when does the newborn phase end? She's like, it's the pits.
My opinion, I think 2 months.
Yeah. Like the 8-ish week mark.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they start to feel like real people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start to feel like they're a little less like.
Right. And a little more awake.
What are they? They're like a wobblehead. They're a wobblehead. Bobblehead. A little bobblehead.
Yeah.
On the front of your car. Like,
yeah. Yeah. 100%.
God, it's just crazy. You forget with baby one how useless a human newborn is. I used to think, like, why can't they just come out like giraffes walking?
Right.
Because our pelvises aren't big enough.
Yeah.
Can you make our pelvises bigger? You up there? Like, why can't they just come out walking? Like, hi, mama. Someone message us being like, when does this get enjoyable?
Yeah.
This is so hard.
Right.
Like, I feel guilty. I'm not bonding with my newborn.
Yeah.
What I would say is that's really normal.
Totally.
It's hard for people to wrap their minds around sometimes.
My husband yesterday, my daughter's 21 months old. He's like, I really like her now.
Okay, hot take. When your kid is over 1, we don't count by months anymore.
Yes, until 2. Oh my God. Sue me.
21-month old, almost 2.
21 months.
1.5.
21 months. Anyways, in case you wanted to know, she's 21 months and my husband's like, we're best friends now. But just
in my head, I'm like, okay, so she's 1.5. Like, I'm not going to let this go.
Type A versus type B.
I swear some people keep going.
Months and 4 days.
Like 3 years.
No, 36 months.
36-month-old.
Kelly's what, 35 months right now?
We need to take a poll. When do you stop saying months?
Maybe 18 months.
When do you stop saying weeks? 12 weeks.
Oh, 12,
right?
12 weeks.
12 weeks.
Can you imagine? 27 weeks. No, shut up. How many months? God. But I get it.
This is like with pregnancy too. I'm 32 weeks.
Yeah.
How many months?
I don't know. I literally have no idea with pregnancy though.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense.
The months.
How long are you pregnant? I don't know.
Like 9.5? Like it's unclear.
Someone came for me when I said 10 months, but I was like, it's not 9 months though. So like, what is it?
I think it's 9.5. And then that's just annoying because you're like, really?
Annoying.
Yeah. It's annoying. Anyway. So anyways, my daughter's like over 1.5 and under 2.
Almost 2. My son's turning 3.
Oh my God. 3 is big.
3 is when you're not a baby anymore.
Yeah.
You're like a human.
Yeah. He's big.
I'm sad.
I know.
And then you start like feeling guilty. Like, did I enjoy it all enough? Was I present enough? Like, was I too mean to him sometimes for pooping in the wrong place? Like, I just have so many thoughts in my head approaching the 3rd birthday. Way more sentimental thoughts than I ever did at 1 year and stuff. It's weird.
Because 3 is like...
It's fleeting. It's fleeting. And I'm like sending him to college tomorrow.
And it's no longer a toddler. Or maybe 3 is and maybe 4 is not. I think 4 is definitely not.
My little fat, goofy toddler is going to be skinny one day.
He is. And you know what's crazy is it's probably going to happen over the next year. He's not going to be sad. He's not going to be a tubba wubba.
I love his tubba wubba. Anyway, that was my random last thought. We are going to do a mom talk.
Hi, moms. This is Natasha from Spain. And I just want to say I'm a huge fan of the podcast. Love what you guys are doing. You're putting such valuable information out there for first-time moms. So kudos to you guys. You're doing such a great job. Anyway, my baby boy is 14 months old. And when he turned 8 to 9 months, I want to say, he started showing more interest and he was more inclined to spend more time with dad, which at the time I loved because, I mean, my husband is an incredible father. And yeah, I was super proud of that. But it's been over half a year now and this hasn't changed. So whenever we're together, he only wants to be with dad. Whenever we get home, he only runs towards dad. He only wants to be picked up by dad. Whenever he hurts himself, he only wants to be soothed by dad. And yeah, I feel completely neglected and ignored. And it's been pretty tough. So I want to know if you guys had any advice or tips, or if you knew anyone this had happened to. And also, I want to add that he spends the same amount of time with both of us. So it's not as if my husband goes out for work and comes back at the end of the day. We're both at home a lot with him at the moment. So yeah, I'm just trying to understand why this has happened and when he'll come back to me, basically. Anyways, thank you guys.
Oh my God, we just spoke about this. There's always, pendulum swings. There's always a preferred parent.
Yeah.
Whether it's the mom or the dad, and it has nothing to do with anything you did.
That's what I was going to say first is like, it gave me chills. There's nothing that you did and there's nothing that you could have done differently. I went through the same thing and I remember crying about it with my son when he was like around 1. He went through this annoying phase where he like just wanted dad. And I was like so hurt by it because I was like, well, what am I? Chopped liver? Like I gave up my whole life for you. Like appreciate me. You know,
Totally.
And my son is in another phase right now where like daddy is number 1. He's 4.5. As far as like anything you can do,
I do have a small tip for this.
Tell me.
Because I was trying to reverse that when I was the preferred parent.
You're like, get away from me.
I was trying to reverse it before she came.
Yeah.
Before baby 2 came. And so something that did work a little bit is assigning specific things as like a bonding moment that I wasn't present at. So my son and my husband started having different days where after work they would go do something together that was really special. And then it made my son so excited and want to do that more and go with him. And they would like go to the park and I wasn't allowed to go. It was like a daddy son play date.
Cute.
And they bonded so much from that specific time every week. And then it became multiple days a week. And then all of a sudden, slowly it became he's not asking me for bedtime anymore. He's not doing this. He's not doing this. And that was sad, but also it's a lot. I will say, I do believe strongly there's always one slightly more preferred parent for different things.
Yeah.
How we talk about all the time. If my son falls, he asks for me. I will say I don't think there's a lot you can do because I do think it will change again.
It will for sure, but I like that tip, and I think in the same vein, I was gonna say bribe them, but your tip is better. Like bring them a new toy and like
Totally.
but like you said, like one-on-one time where like you go do something that like you don't do as a family but you do that solo. Same thing you were saying. I think that can spark excitement for the non-preferred parent in that moment, and then
something fun
and whatever they want to do, and you get down into their world, like not something like going grocery shopping. Like you do something that they want to do, and then all of a sudden, and don't get me wrong, like there may be kicking and screaming and tantruming involved to like get out the door because that child wants to be with the preferred parent. But like as a like setting a precedent, like you do some things with daddy, you do some things with mommy, and like that's just the way it's going to be. And like, I think eventually they realize and learn that it's like also fun to be with mommy. It's also fun to be with daddy. Right. Yeah. But I also think eventually it does even out, and it ebbs and flows regardless of what you do. Yes. But if you wanted to kind of have the pendulum come back to the center, maybe try it. Yeah. Yeah.
Hot tip, hot thought. It's my new term.
Hot thought reminds me of Love Island.
Like a thought.
Like a thoughty.
I'm so grateful you're listening from Spain, by the way.
Oh my God. So
cool. So fun.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. And
I want to hear more about parenting in Spain. Yeah. Submit some things about, how some things are done differently. I'm so curious.
The other thing I was going to say that you did is you had your son start sleeping with your husband.
Correct. I was going to mention that. I'm not an expert on bedtime, but I do have a theory that the person who is doing one-on-one bedtime tends to be more preferred.
Wait, this is so interesting that you say this, because my husband and I try to switch off doing bedtime with both kids. But what I've noticed is the person who puts said child to bed every night, that's the person that the child wants in the morning. it's like a what have you done for me lately kind of situation.
I'm telling you, there's something to do with like the ending the day in a sentimental way, reading a book or like singing a song, cozy. It's like they wake up and remember.
What have you done for me lately? And it's like the last thing they remember is you putting them to bed.
Yes. So my yep.
Interesting.
This is my conspiracy theory.
I don't think it's conspiracy. I think it's an anecdotal hot thought.
Yeah. So try reading bedtime books, getting cozy at night.
And I will say again, like there might be pushback, but I do think, and like
explaining Dada's doing this and mama is putting you to bed and have a special moment.
And also like it might take, like if dad is used to doing bedtime and like you're, kicked to the curb, there might be a little bit of a process for like the child to get used to you doing it. And there might be pushback. And this might be so American of me, but like don't give in and be like, mommy's doing bedtime tonight. We
were hanging out recently and my husband was like, Natasha runs a tight ship. We should take some notes. My son wasn't moving and had to move. And Natasha was like, want me to move your body? Kelly, do you want me to move your body? In a nice voice.
I was like, move or you will be moved. Well, Taylor was far away. She was dealing with her child. Connor's doing something else. And I was like, and someone's yelling. One of you was yelling, Kelly, stop doing that. Kelly, stop doing that. I was like, Kelly, stop doing it or I'm going to move your body.
I am a repetitive parrot. The amount I tell my son to do something and he looks at me and just does not do it. Any tips out there are welcome because I am just like,
I do think
going through life.
I do think that they listen better for like not the non-parents.
Yeah. Natasha says something and my son's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's like at school. Oh my God. Can we talk about preschool like report cards and stuff?
They're like, he's an angel. I'm like, who?
Oh my God. And recently a babysitter, I asked like, hey, things have been really insane lately. Like, how did he do? Said, please said thank you. Was so polite, was so easy. I was like checking my text. Like, are we talking about the right kid?
Like, who am I talking to?
Who? So they behave differently for you thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I feel like I'm losing my voice.
Yeah.
0% listening over here. I feel like with a toddler, I'm constantly like,
yeah, totally.
Gentle parenting.
Sometimes
like the gentle parenting trolls can come for me. Like
the gentle parenting is for gentle children. My children are not gentle.
That is the best take. Gentle toddler ever.
The people that works for, fantastic. Happy for you. There are different methods for different people. And I will tell you, being gentle does not work for me.
Have you heard of the style of parenting where you just say yes to everything?
Oh my God. Yes, I have. I can't. No.
What?
No, that's called being permissive.
They're like, give them autonomy, give them this, like just say yes. And it's actually like an intellectual, some podcast. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And people say like, then they learn on their own. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
No, he literally was like, the podcast I was listening to, the guy was like, I let my child listen to as much stuff on his iPad as he wants in a day. And he'll figure it out.
No.
What?
Sorry. I live in a world full of rules and I'm not going to feel bad about it.
Yeah. Anyway, gentle parenting's for gentle children. I'm going to keep going back to that.
Yeah. I prefer the FAFO style parenting. Fuck around and find out. That's what I would say is my style. On that note, I guess we should wrap it up.
It's not like I'm not gentle.
Look, I'm not hitting my kid. I feel like we're good.
Yeah.
Like I'm not abusive.
But they also can't just like run around doing whatever.
No, there are rules and consequences. If I ask you to do something
Natasha's
and you're not doing
like,
it,
what is the consequence?
Taylor's like, I don't know.
I was like, I say no dinner, but then he gets dinner. The empty threats are my biggest flaw.
But you will also figure it out when you're not in postpartum. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna eventually be like, okay, this is not working. I'm gonna try something else.
I mean, I don't know if anyone else has dealt with this, but my toddler literally won't even stay in his car seat. I had to buy a secondary lock and he figured it out.
That's crazy.
And he will stick his head out the window and yell, penis! Help! Someone help me!
SOS.
Anyway.
The fact that you had to buy a secondary lock that's insane, Taylor.
because he doesn't listen.
No, I know.
And then I'm screaming in the car. She's screaming. And I'm like, get back in your car seat. Buckle yourself.
I've literally never even heard of that before. Are you the only one?
Let me know. Let me know.
No. Yeah, that's unhinged. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
You're in a hard
Help.
You're in a hard time.
Anyway.
Oh, man.
Thanks for listening. Out.
Peace.
Thanks for hanging out with us today on the couch.
If you love this episode, and we know you did, make sure to follow Moms Interrupted on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube so you never miss an episode.
And if you have 2 seconds, rate us 5 stars. It helps more moms find the show.
And helps us keep growing this thing without charging moms.
Yay for moms! Share this episode with a friend, your group chat, or any mom who needs it.
We'll see you next Thursday on the couch.